Okay, guys. Hello. Um, I'm a little bit welcome. First of all, welcome to the Full Moon Live. I am using the YouTube streaming service or feature function. Hi. Yeah. Hi, Ashley. Hey. Hey, Pooja. Hey, G. So I'm testing things out. Okay, guys. Hi, Shefali. Um, I'm trying to use the YouTube version of the live stream because previous live streams were done with my phone, from YouTube Studio, and now I'm actually using it from my laptop for the first time. So I hope this goes well. It's an experiment. I'm going to have to look into the camera of my laptop, which is something I need to get accustomed to. Um, happy Guru. Thank you. Yeah, I enabled subscribers only mode. I thought it was only fair that only us, members of our community, have the capacity to ask for free readings. I mean, subscription is free, doesn't cost much, and it's good to be members of the same community. I'm kind of thinking about ways in which we can build more community. Can you guys hear me okay? Is the microphone quality good? Because I had some issues in the past with the quality of my laptop. My laptop is also sitting on the bed and it's not straight. So I need to put a tarot booklet underneath to support it. Okay, great. Hi, NTM station. Oh, Shefali, that's so kind of you to ask. Thank you. So Shefali is asking me, how have you been, Lexi? Okay, I would say I'm getting there. I'm trying to feel all my feelings. Some days are good and I am able to stick to a routine and I'm able to feel inspired and like my old self. And other days are very bad. Other days I can't get out of bed, I cry, I shout. I don't recognize myself. There are a lot of things that trigger me in this period, but I'm learning. So I have a therapist. I'm going and I'm doing sessions with a psychiatrist as well, because she's in charge of medicating some of the things I am trying to cope with. I'm not taking any intense medication. It's just like mood enhancers and just to keep me like productive and okay. But I told her I don't want anything strong. I used to take some strong medication when I found out my dad was diagnosed first, and I only took it for about 3 months. Afterwards, I was like, I don't like the way these enhanced hormones and everything is making me feel. I don't feel in touch with my body. And I kind of want to feel all my feelings, I don't want to be numb because I felt numb when my dad passed away and I didn't like it. I felt like a robot. I felt empty on the inside. And I think it's better to feel things even if things hurt. Even if you feel desperate and sad and angry, I think it's better to feel things than to not feel anything. It's a bit frightening to not feel anything. So, yeah, that's been the journey so far. I'm going to keep you guys updated. I'm learning a lot about the body in this period. And because it's a full moon in Capricorn, Capricorn is a very pragmatic sign, right? Physical, much like Taurus and Virgo to a certain extent. Virgos can also be very caught up in their mind because of the influence of Mercury. But I'm crushing some ice. Ice is a very Saturnian thing. I really like this setup though because I can actually see the comments that you guys have and I don't need to press the screen with my finger all the time. So this is really cool. I can actually see your comments over here. Sana, hi. Chucky, thank you. Chucky is saying, love your makeup, pretty color. I'm feeling very green in this period. Yesterday, I went out with a pink jacket and my green overalls. And it's really good because green and pink are usually the colors associated with the heart center, with Anahata, the heart chakra. So it's good. It's good. It means that some healing is happening here. If I'm being drawn to these colors, if I'm wearing them, it's kind of like heart energy is being expressed. So that's why I think it's important, guys, whenever we go through difficult things, try not to block yourself from feeling things. I know that the environment, the capitalist economy, is saying that we should all be super positive and like really productive all the time, but you can't do that. You're a human being, you're not a machine, you're not a robot. And I think that's what Capricorn energy is showing us all the time, right? The limits of things. So I like to do this fun exercise. It's fun for me. I don't know if it's going to be fun for you. But every time when we have a full moon, think back 6 months from like in the past. Go back 6 months. Because 6 months ago, there was a new moon in Capricorn and you began something. You started something. There were some circumstances in your life that took place around that new moon in Capricorn. And these have been growing up until this point. It can also be something negative as well. Maybe you met a karmic person, or you had some debt that you suddenly fell into, or something happened like an accident or some circumstances beyond your control. And now they're finally wrapping up, they're completing. And for me, I think it's definitely been this wrapping up karma with my father's passing. 6 months ago, I feel like I had an argument or something, and I stopped talking to my parents for a couple of months, and then we kind of reconciled again over the holiday season. Yeah, so it's kind of like it's wrapping up, like the healing point of this full moon in Capricorn, and Capricorn is about authority, father figures. It is about society and the limits, the norms, the values, the traditions in society, like the rules and regulations. And it's an interesting full moon. It's one of the first without Pluto. Yay! So I'm sure a lot of you Capricorns out there are happy that you no longer have the influence of Pluto to bring you down, to bring you intensity. But this week we had a really wonderful achievement, historic achievement, I would say, in terms of astrology. Uranus shifted into Gemini. And I gotta say, it's the first taster that we're getting of this energy. I'm still trying to kind of feel what it is and how it is, and that hopefully it's not the energy of Saturn overlapping or Neptune in Aries, because there are a lot of planets shifting this year. As you guys know, Saturn switched signs, Neptune switches signs, Pluto switched completely into Aquarius. We have the North Node in Pisces and the South Node in Virgo. And we are having Uranus right now from Taurus into Gemini. I feel that this energy is a bit more lighthearted, like things are a bit more free flowing. And I can already feel that it's a little bit, I don't know, lighter. It's not as heavy as Taurus was. Uranus in Taurus was horrible, absolutely horrible. It was teaching us very difficult lessons in destruction because Uranus wants to change and Taurus is incredibly stubborn and doesn't want to change, doesn't like change, unless it's for a profitable cause, unless it's bringing some sort of material results. So you can imagine these energies butting heads since 2018. So whichever part in your chart you had Taurus and Uranus was moving through that area, it was destroying things, just randomly destroying, like a bull in a china shop. And for me personally, I had this energy in my seventh house. And I have to say that to put things into perspective, before Uranus entered Taurus and walked through my seventh house, touching upon my Mars in Taurus, I was a lecturer in Oxford. I had a wide group of friends. I had a boyfriend. He was English. I lived in a really nice apartment. I had loads of students I had to deal with. And it felt like I have arrived in life, like all of the hard work and penny pinching and poor little Alexandra from communist Romania, who had to learn so many languages and adapt in so many different countries, finally settled. She's doing something she loves. She's working on our relationship with a new guy after the divorce and after another separation, and she's making new friends. Well, Uranus entered Taurus and began destroying everything, like boom, 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 boom. And it began with me. I mean, I was the one making these decisions because I was feeling this like erratic energy inside of myself. And it was creating so much irritation and anger because Uranus was crossing over my Mars. So it was hard for me to put up with a lot of things all of a sudden, overnight. It's like I started becoming increasingly angry and angrier. And I wanted movement. I wanted liberation. I wanted to break free. And I broke free so much that at this point in time, as Uranus shifted into Gemini and completed the transit in my seventh house, I have no boyfriend. I have no group of friends. All of them are in other countries. All my good friends are in other countries. My dad passed away. It's just me and my mom. And, not to mention that I completely walked away from my academic university career. But I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining at all. I'm just trying to give you guys a sample of how a transit can completely change your life, of how important transits are and how they awake inside of us, because we are the ones who are operating under the energy of these transits. Unless you're a Buddhist master and you're able to really control these energies and not act upon them, it's very hard not to work with this energy, not to allow this energy to get you to act on impulse or do certain things you would otherwise not think of doing before the transit. But the beautiful part is that Uranus liberated me and allowed me to believe in weird parts of myself that I wasn't aware of. So, for example, you guys exist because of Uranus in Taurus transiting through my seventh house. I don't think that prior to this transit, I would have ever had the courage to begin filming tarot readings and uploading them online and talking to strangers from all over the world without actually meeting them physically, face to face. My interactions before this transit were very physical, were very one to one, face to face. And that kept me in a way mentally balanced, I would say. Interactions, physical interactions are always good, but they limited me. I would not have been able to meet, people from all over the world at such a rapid rate and connect with them at such a deep level through magic. More or less, what we're doing here is a little bit of magic, if you think about it. I do believe in that. I don't think magic is stupid or just for children. And by the way, children are the wisest anyway. So the point is that Uranus liberated me in certain ways. And I'm really grateful for that because the spiritual social exists. I have a new occupation at the moment. I have friends. I have clients, but they're not physically close to me. Everybody's all over the world. It's very global. And I connect with them through technology, through apps, through gadgets. That's very Uranian. Yeah. So, in spite of what the media is saying, that, oh, you should constantly have one to one interactions, oh, technology is bad for your brain, I tend to disagree. I respectfully disagree. First of all, technology is part of our lives and it's not going to change so quickly. Nobody's just going to yank technology out of our lives and throw it out the planet. And that's it. We're going back to prehistory. That's not going to happen. Humans progress. Technology is part of our lives. We are staring at screens, communicating through screens. And that's just what it is. I think it's time for us to accept this and stop judging each other so harshly, you know? Indeed, there should be certain limits, right? Everything in moderation for a balanced, healthy life. But that kind of mentality can be applicable to anything: smoking, drinking alcohol, oversleeping, right? Overworking. You should always do things in moderation and try a little bit of everything. But yeah, Uranus in Gemini right now. Feel free to comment down below and let me know, or comment in the chat. I need to get out of my pick a card mindset and into the chat mindset, and let me know, how is this transit affecting you? Did you notice an important change on the day when Uranus shifted? It was the 8th of July, so just 2 days ago. Did something important happen? Let's see. Yeah, Tokyo Fatisha. Oh my God, what a life cycle. It is a little bit crazy what happened. Yeah. I recently read that reading works by authors with same Mercury and Nakshatra as well will feel like you're reading words that you find difficult to put out. Have you experienced this? For example, if my Mercury natally is in Pisces and it is in the 5th house, the house of the sun, and I really don't know if I am aware of the Mercury placement of the authors I am reading. I normally just know their sun sign. It's kind of hard, but that's an interesting point. I mean, I could certainly do some research and get back to you on that. I don't know about the nakshatra so much. I know about Vedic astrology very little and mostly in combination with Rahu and Ketu. That's all I know. More than that, I still need to get educated on. I do have a book in my collection on lunar mansions, and I think those are the ones you're referring to, Chucky, right? Lunar mansions. I think they're called nakshatras. Actually, I was just very emotional and feeling very heavy. My mind and body felt exhausted for no reason. Oh my God, yes, heaviness. Heaviness is really important because there's an interesting astronomical phenomenon happening at the moment. Saturn was absent from the sky. It was not visible because of the fact that it was appearing very early in the morning, in the pre-dawn period of the sky. I don't know, astronomers have their own divisions as to how they consider the times of the day. But basically, Saturn had low visibility in the sky. And when a planet doesn't appear visible to astronomers, it is usually very weak in terms of its astrological potential. So Saturn, the god of limits, boundaries, time, and effort, was absent. And we see all the financial mayhem and chaos that happened. You see how governments at the moment are barely holding on to whatever was stable. And you see how presidents and prime ministers are issuing all sorts of rules and regulations overnight. They're trying to maintain stability, they're trying to cover deficits, but it's chaos, it's mayhem. And the funny thing is that in my country, on the 1st of August, they are trying to implement some regulations. But because politicians never work with astrologers, it's going to be like a chaos fest because they are launching new regulations to save the economy and cover the deficit during a Mercury retrograde, people. And we all know what you shouldn't do during a Mercury retrograde: launch rules and regulations and stabilize the economy. So of course that what they're going to launch in August, people are going to rebel against and protest. And by September, everything will be changed and taken down. Because things that you begin during a Mercury retrograde, a Venus retrograde, a Mars retrograde, a Saturn retrograde sometimes, they don't have holding power. These periods are excellent for reanalyzing something, going over certain things. They're not, or connecting with people from the past, going over missed opportunities, trying second time, or the third time or the fourth time for something that you've been trying to do for a very long period of time. It is the worst possible thing to launch something new, to come up with a big promise, big ambitious plan. It's like you're building your house on quicksand. It's not going to work. You need the stable ground of a direct movement of a planet. Retrogrades, they're periods of reflection. They're periods in which we shouldn't rush ahead. Yeah. So the color of my kimono. Yeah, so guys, don't take this year too seriously. The way in which you can cope with the heaviness, and the heaviness, by the way, Ashley, just to finish that thought, that's why you may have been feeling the heaviness, because Saturn has only just appeared in the sky this week. So it's bringing back that heaviness because it wants to restabilize things. The problem is that Mercury is going retrograde very soon, and it's going to be a little bit of a period of about 3 to 4 weeks in which things are not really as stable as we would like them to be. But as soon as we get accustomed to these new energies, on the 2nd of September, Saturn is going to go back into Pisces, and on the 9th of November, Uranus is returning back to Taurus and stays until April. So it will be fascinating, guys. Keep observing what's happening around you during this summer, because whatever energy you're picking up on this summer, it will come back next year. At the moment, the planets that we have, Saturn in Aries and Uranus in Gemini, they're going to go back into the planets that we had at the beginning of the year. And yeah, I personally, I'm trying to get comfortable with these energies because they're very hard. And it's been a very, very difficult year for me personally. I know some people who are thriving with these energies, and I wish them good luck. I hope that you guys are among the people that are thriving with these energies. But for me personally, it's very difficult because I have Uranus squaring my ascendant. I have Pluto squaring my Pluto. I have Saturn sitting in opposition to my ascendant and then in a square to my ascendant. And not to mention that Saturn is hanging around the 29th degree Pisces, 1st degree Aries, which is where I have my sun, my vitality, my energy. They're all like, I have to put a lot of effort into feeling alive and healthy and strong and all the things I thought I was, up until this point in time, because I don't recognize myself with these energies, like Saturn bringing up a lot of fears. And I was just like, I never was this fearful person. I wouldn't be able to travel and do all sorts of the crazy things I have done in my life if I was afraid. So, but Saturn is right now bringing me a lot of like fears related to death, growing older, losing my attractivity, fears of being alone, dying alone, which, to be honest, are bullshit, because we are born alone, we're going to die alone, and that's nothing to be scared of, guys. It's just a fact. And the beautiful part is that we are aware of these two exit points, and it's important what we do in between, right? The people that we meet, the energy that we share, the way we inspire other people, the way we work for other people, the way we help others, the way we solve problems, the way we find a way to get up each morning and continue going. This getting up and continuing going has been quite difficult with these energies moving around like this year. So give yourself time this year, slowly process everything, and don't take things so light, so heavy. I know even if the energy is heavy, it's okay. Hold that heaviness, but try to see it in a detached way. It's like, that the astrology is insane. That you cannot build things this year that stand the test of time. So this is a year of conservation rather than reaching for your big ambitious goal. For some of you, this may not be the year in which you buy a house, you get married, you have a child. For others of you, maybe everything falls into place. Ta-da, especially those of you who had Jupiter in Gemini, Jupiter in Cancer. For you, it's a really okay year. If you don't have other things blocking you in your birth chart, go ahead and grow, expand. But for others, those of you who have Saturn in Aries, Saturn in Pisces returning, those of you who are Pisces Sun, Aries Suns, those of you who are Aquarius, yeah, hello, my Aquarians. How is Pluto treating you? Yeah, it's heavy. It's heavy and it's gonna be heavy. Scorpios are not doing well with this energy of Pluto and Aquarius. Taurians are not doing well, especially since Uranus is leaving their sign and getting them to come back to their calm, simple, beautiful ways of being, because Taurians have been crazy since 2018 until now. It's like, whoa, like their life went from 0 to 100 overnight. Everything was turbo, everything was chaos, everything was electric, everything was, you know, mad. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens to Machine Gun Kelly and Megan Fox, because they're both Sun and Taurus, and now they no longer have Uranus getting them to have this on and off relationship. We will see. We will see. But yeah, I think I'm speaking all over the place, but you guys know that this is my style. Does anyone know the degree the Capricorn full moon is in? Give me a second. You can find it on astroseek.com. I get all of my moon information from Astroseek. I think it's 13 degrees, if I'm not mistaken. No, 1849. Okay, so this full moon in Capricorn is taking place at 1849. You guys know the drill, right? Do I need to repeat it? I think it's important to remind you guys, because I was receiving DMs, and people were asking me if it's a good period to get injections or surgeries. No, no, stay away. A day or two around the full moon, before and after, don't get any crazy appointments to modify your body. Even teeth related things, skin related treatments. You may be thinking you're going in for like just a gentle facial, or I'm just gonna get my teeth cleaned and that's all. And you may be coming out of there with something heavier or worse than you had before. So no, full moons are terrible for any body modifications, any surgeries. And why is that? So just so you understand why there's this restriction. At full moons, our emotions become heightened, our blood flow is intensified. So if somebody cuts you during a surgery, you're gonna bleed profusively, like even more than you normally would. Yeah. And this is something to be avoided because you don't want to lose a lot of blood. Like if the doctor makes a small mistake, it can turn into something bigger than it should have been. So that's why it's better to schedule surgeries in periods when the moon is very like less intense, like balsamic moon, new moon. Those are the periods when the moon is not so crazy. The best period would be the first time when you see the sliver of the new moon. That's the best period to begin new things, to launch new things, to do treatments, to cut your hair. Those are excellent moments, yeah. And speaking of hair, just to keep it a little bit more lighthearted, look at this, guys. So I don't know if you can see, but I can already tie my hair. And I only got the haircut 2 months ago. Like exactly in the week when I buried my dad, I got my short haircut, and I thought it would last, but my hair is growing like crazy. And I only cut it when the moon is rising. Only then. And yeah, I think it's also good genes. My father had a lot of hair, and I think me and my sister took that from him. So thanks, Dad. Physical intimacy around full moon. Yeah. Well, if you haven't, okay, how should I begin approaching the subject? Because there is so much to say. Um, the physical act itself, it's preferable if it's done with somebody that you already know, with somebody that you have already built a relationship with. I wouldn't recommend going on a first date on a full moon night, or having, hanky panky with somebody that you've just met, having a one night stand. Because as I said, emotions will be intensified, behaviors will be a little bit dramatic and out of proportion, and you don't know that person, right? So you don't know what's going to happen. If that person has a particular kink or a particular fetish and you just find out about it, it's going to be amplified the way this person is going to manifest that desire. And I don't think you want that, because in some cases it can get really scary, right? It can get really traumatic. But it's really good. Full moons are especially good to have make-up sex during them. Like if you had an argument with a boyfriend or a girlfriend, and you want to get back together with them, use a full moon night. If you have the big O, right, the orgasm, it's even better, because you can also set an intention on a full moon. I was laughing earlier because, a lot of people, especially witches and Wicca practitioners, they actually schedule they schedule things like this, giving themselves pleasure and then uttering some spells in the moment when you arrive, when you complete the act, because in that moment when you have an orgasm, the energy is so intense that you can easily send out a spell, and you can you can create a sigil. um, in addition to this, it's excellent if you have your period around the full moon, because then you can use already you are powered up by the act of your body cleansing itself of the bad blood. And you can even take that blood and include it in some of the spells. You can sanctify an object, or imbue it with magical properties, or you can use bodily fluids around a full moon on a puppet. If you guys have a puppet, I hope that you're not using it to create harm for somebody else, but you can bless, you can create protection rituals around a puppet, a member of the family maybe that needs extra spiritual protection. You can imbue the puppet with the blood and say a spell, an incantation, and it is amplified. Everything that you do around the full moon is amplified. And if you don't believe me, look at fellow sun in Cancers. Is anybody in the chat at the moment a sun in Cancer? Let's see. Do we have any Cancerians here? Lassie Herbert. Hey. Hi, Fine S. Yeah. So Fine S is saying, same here. My period finished a few days just before full moon. It's so exhausting, really. Yeah. Gabriela, oh, Aquarius gang, what's up? Twins, keep your chin up. Yeah. So I'm just catching up with some of the comments, because you guys know I can begin talking and not stop. It's also kind of hot in my room. I had to close the windows and the doors because I don't know what's wrong with me. Like, I constantly am attracted to live in places that are next to like children's courtyards and gardens or playgrounds for children. And Bucharest actually has a lot of them. We have like a playground if you walk like once every 2 minutes. It's quite a dense city, and that's why. So children scream. They scream when they play because, I don't know, Eastern European customs of raising your child. I think also that mental health practitioners have recently banked on about how important it is to allow your child to express themselves. So I think that parents nowadays don't shush them as much as they used to in the past. And this has its, benefits for the child, but it's really grating for those of us who are approaching the older age of life. Yeah, it's very weird because when you're 38 like I am, you're in a weird limbo. You have just begun your midlife crisis, which astrologically apparently begins around the 38th year of life and completes around the 42nd or 44th year of life. And this is because you are having a Uranus square to your natal Uranus, and then you're having Uranus sitting in opposition to your natal Uranus and Saturn. And that's why a lot of people begin acting crazy and out of character around the midlife crisis point. And that's why it's called the midlife crisis, not a midlife celebration. Yeah. So a lot of people change their lives dramatically when Uranus begins meddling, with the energy of a certain individual. Like people begin experiencing cabin fever, fear of missing out. What have I been doing with my life so far, you know? And they start just like taking these random impulsive actions. Other people have been needing a change for a very long period of time, and they realize maybe I should. I've been doing things in a certain way and it hasn't paid out in the way in which I wanted to. Things haven't been working out. I have not reached my goals yet. So a Uranus midlife crisis can be a great point to begin living again, you know? If you have been too sheltered, or if you have been too mollycoddled, you know, if you kept yourself too safe and you didn't take any big chances, big risks, the midlife crisis is the wonderful spark plug that gets you to live again, that gets you to maybe experience passion, have an adventure, do something a little bit out of character. But for most people, they have steadily been building their lives, and whatever they created around their Saturn return, the first one, is going to be really tested by the Uranian midlife crisis around the age of 38, all the way up until 44. And this is not something I am creating. It's something I'm reading from a book by Erin Sullivan, one of my favorite astrologers. She's a Scorpio sun, and she's so well read, and she writes so like with such a keen attention to detail. You know, this woman gets her facts straight, and it's just a pleasure to read her books. And she's also writing a lot about aging, the aging process, and how astrology comes into this. One beautiful realization, well, I think it's beautiful, I don't know, I'm going to tell you guys, and then you can comment in the chat and let me know if you find it beautiful as well or not. But you know how at the moment Gen Z is so preoccupied by aging, how they're doing these really crazy cosmetic treatments long before they have actually had a chance to produce wrinkles or to have sunspots or pigmentation, right? And it's fascinating because it's kind of like the younger ones, the younger generation are obsessed with perfection, and everybody's trying to kind of modify their body parts to look closer to the ideal of beauty that society requires. But now we're having the rise of AI, and increasingly robots are going to become part of society. Things are going to become increasingly more refined and perfected, especially with Uranus and Gemini joining forces with Pluto and Aquarius. So what is going to happen is that the way you look human like the things that make you look imperfect and a little bit effed up, those things are going to become incredibly valuable in a couple of years. Give it about 5 to 6 years and watch as people who have missing limbs, wrinkles, all sorts of cuts and bruises, maybe a lazy eye, maybe a crooked nose, maybe like natural teeth. Those people are going to become the next trendsetters. Those people are going to be the ones that people will bow down to. Why? Because they don't look like AI, they look like human beings. So we're kind of reaching this point where everybody's like, oh, we need to look perfect. AI is also rapidly growing and learning about perfection and what people value in society at this point in time, and will reproduce it. And as AI will become increasingly more perfect and start emulating human beings, people are going to freak out because they're going to be like, oh my God, is this a real person or is this AI? When they look at other people who have been having physical modifications to look perfect and young and wrinkle free, people are going to again have this feeling of depersonalization, like, oh my God, are you a robot or are you a real human being? So people who look human, who look natural, are going to become high valued possessions. Okay, people are going to want to be around other people who look natural for their mental health, because you have a human face. I can trust you. I'm not feeling like I'm losing my mind when I look at you. I'm not constantly having to think, are you AI? Are you robot? Are you collecting data from me? Are you like an artificial trendsetter? Because already channels are appearing on YouTube that are completely created by AI, and they look scarily human. Like, I can show you a video of a person that is kind of doing a pick a card reading, and it looks so alive and real and human, but actually it's AI. and you can still see some problems there, in the way in which they use their hands or other modifications. But these mistakes will be corrected and improved during the Uranus and Gemini era. And AI is going to become indistinguishable from the things we're doing. It's going to try to emulate how people look more and more, but it will continuously strive for the ideal. While if we remain in a state of not striving for an ideal, if we remain in a state as natural as we can, that's going to become increasingly more valued. So if you have things that you feel ashamed of physically, if you look in a certain way and you feel, I don't fit into society's standards, just give it a couple more years, okay? Be patient. Be patient, because maybe, I don't know, you will be asked to create content that will monetize you to an extent that you're able to buy your first home, or I don't know, live your dream life or something, just from the fact that you look natural, that you're not enhanced in any way. So yeah, it's going to be, it's, I don't know, that was just my intuition as I was preparing the Uranus in Gemini video. I sometimes had these like moments when I kind of see some things, and I don't know if they're going to come true or not, but that is my hope and my intention. Let's see. I'm always exhausted during full moons. This is scary. Uh, in some way, it is scary, I would say, but it's also very hopeful. It's also hopeful for a lot of people that are feeling like they are weird or outcasts or too poor to get lip injections or cosmetic surgery, or they don't want to get cosmetic surgery, but they feel increasingly the pressure to look perfect and to behave in a way that is not in accordance with their own beliefs, right? If you want to maintain a natural sense of life, if you want to look natural, it's becoming increasingly hard not to give in to the pressure when you see how competitive everything is, right? But believe me, just hang on in there, hang on, especially if you're young right now and watching this, if you're a teenager, uh, give it a couple of years. It's going to become increasingly valuable to look, to feel like a human being, especially since, as I said, Gemini and Aquarius energy is going to be so drawn towards the future, futuristic looks. What is cool is going to be more important over what is heartfelt and empathetic. Um, Plastic, fantastic, anything that is shiny, neon, fun, not necessarily healthy. Um, I'm just noticing that the room is kind of darkening because I'm losing light right now. I'm trying to see how I can maybe like stand. I have a lamp. Should I just turn on the lamp? Give me a second, guys. Let's see. Oh, is this a little bit better? Yeah, it's a bit better. Okay. What are the kitty cats doing? Well, Sol is actually just looking at me, yawning right now. She's right behind this laptop. And Noah is over there. Wait, let me just take my cup. Noah's over there. Do you guys see him? He's asleep. Noah? Ah. Yeah, so they are sleeping most of the time, most of the days. They're sleeping, and at nighttime they wake up, they chase each other around, and they disturb my sleep, of course, and then they go to bed. That's their thing. That's their whole routine. NTM station. I just turned 31 and I was feeling old. Haha. Now I feel better, hopeful with what you are saying. Oh, believe me. First of all, happy birthday. And yeah, no, believe me, because I've been in a worse condition because I'm nearing 40, right? And I've been thinking, oh my God, it's like all this pressure to look perfect, and like the scrutiny of society at the moment. It's like everybody's trying to go back to heroin chic, the Kate Moss era where nobody was eating, and You're supposed to look like perfect. And it's ridiculous. At some point, I was just like, the pressure is so intense that it cracks. It will crack at one point. And then it's going to be a return to other values, different values. But in general, Aquarius is all about valuing the outcast, the rebel, the one that does not conform. It's no longer the era of Pluto and Capricorn, in which you really had to kind of project sensuality and richness and style and luxury, brand labels. No, that's gone. It's in the past, and we will increasingly be moving away from that. Now it's the era of what are your skills? Skills are going to become really sexy. Like, people watching you do what you love, it's going to be hot. So whatever skill you have, amplify it. Show people what you're good at. You're maybe very good at cooking. Maybe you're very good at makeup. Maybe you're very good at math, speaking different languages, repairing bicycles or cars, that's going to be the thing that recommends you. Again, other things such as the pleasure of ugly things, like what looks weird, alien like, not the ideal beauty standard, is going to become in our faces. It's going to become what's hot and cool and hip and new. It's going to become increasingly hot as well to be into astrology, astronomy, to try to, I don't know, learn about astrophysics, for example. Space travel is going to be a really important topic as well. So, get a skill. If you feel like you don't have any specific skills, just put effort into learning something, because Pluto and Aquarius can actually help you change your life for the better on the basis of that skill. Yeah. Join a group, be part of a group, start your own group, be the leader of a social group. There are so many problems in the world. So try to see if you're, for example, if the government doesn't help you in getting clean water to the people in your city or in your community, or if there's a particular issue, like maybe stray cats have been increasing in your area and they're all dying because of extreme heat or hurricane problems, start your own association, and start adopting them, treating them, gather people who can help you. Find the cause that you love, that you believe in, an ideal, and get people to help you achieve that. And on this note, I've just remembered that I wanted to ask you guys for a favor. So I need the power and the support of the group to help me achieve a small goal. As you guys know, I have at the moment 4 channels. 2 of them are nowhere near becoming monetized. I am only earning a very small revenue with some of the ads that are being shown on the spiritual social. But my second channel on astrology, the spiritual cosmos, is very close to being monetized. Okay. I am fulfilling all of the requirements minus one. And that is that I need to have 3,000 public watch hours. At the moment, I have about 2,600. I need just 400 more watch hours. I would kindly ask all of the people in the chat to go to the spiritual cosmos. You can click on my spiritual social main page, and you will see there that I placed the buttons for all of my channels. Just click on the spiritual cosmos channel, select any video that you want, a video that probably interests you. You don't even have to listen to it. All you have to do is click on it. You can mute it and just allow it to play all the way through in the background. Okay. Even as you're watching this, you can just put it in the background in a separate tab. And hopefully, this small act can help me achieve those 400 remaining public watch hours, because it's really motivating me. Like, if I have work that I know is going to give me like even 50 cents, is really helping me, because at the moment when I'm doing the astrology videos, it's such a motivational sinkhole. They take hours to edit because I have to put in pictures. I usually film about an hour, and the videos then get compressed to 20 minutes. There's a lot of information that I want to deliver to you guys, because I'm doing 12 signs most of the times. and I have to talk about maybe some of the background history, or in the case of a synastry analysis, I have to do some research as to who are these people that you guys want me to look into. Like, for example, I'm doing a lot of research right now on Dua Lipa and Callum Turner, because I had no idea who Callum Turner was before Dua Lipa decided to get engaged to him. And although I love Dua Lipa, I don't know that much about her. So all of this work, this background work that I'm doing in the creation of the videos, is sometimes draining me. And it's kind of like, I love what I do. I want to convey and send these messages to you guys. But it's like, it does make me feel like I should be spending more time on the spiritual social, because the spiritual social kind of gives me the reward at the end of each month, while the spiritual cosmos doesn't. But at the same time, I love both of these channels. I love to do astrology and tarot, as you guys know. So yeah, just to wrap up, it would mean the world to me. It's a motivator to have my astrology channel monetized. And I will get there eventually, but with your help, I can get there quicker. And this will definitely motivate me to give you guys more content, you know, because when you see that something, like when you reach a milestone as a creator, you feel like motivated, you feel like, hey, encouraged, you know. And I've been really missing that encouragement lately, because things have been very slow. Growth has been blocked in my life on all accounts. And that's not necessarily because I mean, I've also not been as consistent as I used to be, that's true. But it's also because there are these energies that are rather limiting that I'm dealing with astrologically. When you have Saturn going through your sun sign, this is a period of about 3 years in which things will feel limited, restricted. You will feel blocked in so many different areas of your life. So it is what it is. But since Pluto is in Aquarius and power lies in the masses, let's make use of this energy and see. Look, Matchat is saying, sometimes if someone is streaming, I'll let it play and mute it, watch something else, and play the live stream back 2 times faster. Okay, well, that's a strategy. I just am wondering, like, if we constantly do things on speed, what is that doing to our brains? You know, like, what is, yeah, I don't know. Because, for example, I like some of the creators that really take their time when they explain things. I like those videos in which people are just filming environments, for example. They're just calmly walking through an environment and showing you um, like empty hotel rooms, or uh, like abandoned malls, you know. I really like those eerie environments. Um, and there's minimal talking in those videos. You really have to sit and watch them. It's visual pleasure, right? And it's the same like with speaking. I don't know, I like creators that take their time, that create this cozy atmosphere, that are not like constantly Mr. Beast style, you know, engaged with a lot of super cool fast editing, you know, that completely dynamites your brain. um, Yeah, it's going to be increasingly important to think about the brain-body connection during this Pluto Aquarius, Uranus in Gemini trine era. It's going to be a period of 8 years, guys. 8 years. Obviously, the trine is going to be more intense this year, and well, a couple of months this year, and then from next year, it's going to be really intense. But yeah, it's going to really change our nervous systems, and we are going to integrate technology even more intimately into our bodies, like with nanobots, changing ourselves through vaccines, and also all sorts of things like implants. People are already getting implants of technology into their bodies. So, yeah, it's important to think about. I'm not saying that listening to things on 4 times the speed is necessarily wrong. It's just I'm curious about, how does it transform you? How does it really fix or change your brain chemistry? Because it is releasing in your body certain hormones when you watch or you listen to things. And I wonder what kind of, you know, like, is it more adrenaline based, more dopamine based? I mean, obviously it is dopamine based, but yeah, being mindful of these things, I think, is really, really important. Yeah. Okay. Ashley, I'm already reading and thinking about my research for PhD, and I'm very interested in the brain and children with trauma and their biology. Oh my God. And Majid is saying, I do zero social. I listen at 125. I'm an artist, a musician, health freak. 50 Chiron return. Wow, congratulations, Majid. Chiron return. Oh my goodness. I am thinking about creating a video about that because, yeah, that is a trip. Chiron in general is painful. Um, Fine S is saying, oh, and Lexi, have you ever heard of astrocartography? Yes. Thank you for reminding me of this. I am offering astrocartographical thick reports. Yes, it's basically mapping your birth chart on the world globe, and you get to see very strongly, very easily, cleanly, I would say, in which cities you would thrive, in which cities you should stay away, which cities are good for your pleasures, for love, which cities are helping you grow. Um, for example, I have my Jupiter line crossing over Scotland and the UK, and it's also crossing over Portugal. And those are the places I would always return to because I felt the best there. I feel like I can grow, like, in spite of the things being, in spite of life being sometimes complicated in those places. Of course, it's complicated all over the world, but in those places, I really feel like I can grow. Yeah. Should I do a pick a card? Let's see. Fine S had a great idea for a pick a card. Oh, yes. I really wanted to thank you guys because I recently, well, during the heat wave, you guys know we're having a heat wave, and I'm really grateful for this full moon in Capricorn because it has changed the weather. It's made everything more breathable. We had a storm right yesterday night, and I actually slept with a sweater on. Like the temperature dropped very strongly. And during this heat wave, that took place before the storm, I asked you guys on Instagram, what kind of ideas do you have for heat wave pick a cards? And I got some really beautiful, yeah, I'm getting here some really beautiful suggestions. Yeah, so let's see, I wanted to give you a sample. So WTUV, why is all of this happening? What should I change? Like a pick a card on why is all of this happening? The next chapter in my life. That sounded really good. Your soul mission in this lifetime. Crush reading, of course. I will keep the love readings coming. Don't worry, guys. What is hidden in the shadows? How to avoid getting emotionally burned, or who will be responsible for your steamiest night? I'm gonna create that one for members, okay? Because as you guys know, I'm not allowed to use like my creative adult decks in my normal free pick a card readings because it just YouTube flags me and blocks my videos, takes them down in certain cases. So I am doing this behind the members paywall. Yeah. So I can also use some of my older tarot decks, which I can't use on my free pick a card area. I'm using this with members. Yeah. Messages from Venus. Yes, I could do a check-in with that one. I had a previous I think I have two pick a card readings with that topic, but I can do um an update. Uh, Sorry guys, I'm reading. um Okay, so NTM Station is saying that I love your Instagram. It's very interesting, all your mini adventures around your city. Have you considered doing something like that on YouTube, like mixing trips with astrology? Yes. I had this idea that I would fly to Iceland, to Reykjavik, to see if indeed that region is my Saturn place. Okay. And I was thinking about taking such a trip. It's going to be a bit tricky right now to see with my cats because I can't be gone from home more than 4 days. That's as longest as I can be away from them. My mother comes in and kind of cleans their litter box or feeds them and gives them fresh water in the meantime while I'm gone. But I normally don't take long trips. So it has to be some place where I'm not going to have to spend 1 week, you know. But yeah, I thought about that. So it's really cool. NTM station, we're kind of on the same wavelength. I am doing trips in Romania, short trips. I am already going to upload a vlog from my recent trip to Câmpina. I went to see like a spiritual festival dedicated to the child prodigy and genius Iulia Hășteu, who was also the one who my high school was named after. She was this like incredibly intelligent little girl who grew up to be a poetess, and she was a polyglot. She could speak many different languages, but unfortunately she died quite early in life because she traveled extensively, and she got pneumonia, I think, and she died because of that at a very young age. And I like to go to Câmpina because that's where her father created a home. He built a home that looks like a mini castle. And her father was also obsessed with spirituality, occultism, and what God means to the Romanian population, to traditions. And I'm going to be uploading this vlog soon. And then next week, I'm going to travel to another location. I'm not going to tell you guys where, but it's in Romania. It's not that far away. And I'm going to be looking for some members of my extended family. I want to get in touch with them. I want to visit some places from my childhood. And I want to see the grave of my grandma. So, yeah, I'm doing some Pluto in Aquarius fourth house shiz, and I'm taking you with me on these trips because Jupiter is in my ninth house, and yeah, traveling at the moment makes me very happy. In terms of Saturn place, do you mean it's your Saturn line? Yes, Finance. Yes, my Saturn line crosses straight through Reykjavik. Sorry, that was a really bad accent. But yeah. So I can actually, you know what? I think that you guys are inspiring me to do a video in which I describe to you, because I was thinking, I have a lot of services, and many people often ask me questions like, do you have this service or do you have that service? So I think I'm going to make on the Spiritual Cosmos, my astrology channel, which I hope you guys have subscribed to. Yeah. And I need to stop looking at the chat. I hope that I will create some videos in which I can first of all talk about astrocartography, how I got into it, what it means, how you can create your astrocartography chart, and then tell you a little bit about the service I offer and how it can benefit you. Because maybe this will help some people, and I can do this for my Love Asteroids report. I wanted to create a video in which I talk about those love asteroids and some of the mythical stories behind each of the asteroids that I selected, because the Love Asteroid Reports gives you 9 asteroids that are affecting in some way your energy. And these asteroids are also having a very strong bearing on your Venus placement. Your Venus placement is not just your Venus placement, it is enhanced by its aspects to all of these 9 asteroids, like Ceres, Juno, Pallas Athena, Cupid, Amor, Eros, all of these. Psyche is my favorite, to be honest, the soul one. Okay, now Noah is jumping on the bed. I'm kind of losing visibility. This has been a bit of a test. I'm sorry, I don't have that much time for free mini reads, but I will try my best to do a couple of them for you guys. Because it is this full moon in Capricorn energy, I have here, oh, you can barely see it, the Cook's Tarot. Yeah. Give me a second to see if I can open the light, because I have light sources around me, but just a second. Whoop. Yes, I'm like a bull in a china shop. It's a little bit brighter, no? Okay, so let's begin the mini reads. A yes or a no question from, is that Bana? Bana Cosma? Um, let's see. Mouse Pajama says, I was born with my moon in Capricorn. Yeah, my father had that placement too. Brad Pitt has it as well. Johnny Depp has it as well. A lot of famous actors have a moon in Capricorn. And you know why? Because a Saturnian moon gives you a state in which you feel things, and then a state in which you are able to immediately become aware of what you're feeling and control it. So it's a great trait to have as an actor, because you're in control of your emotions. You're able to observe them, analyze them um, in a cold and detached way. I can tell you this because I wasn't born with the moon in Capricorn, but my moon is loosely conjunct Saturn. Um, Ashley, is there something Drew isn't telling me about his feelings? Okay, so I'm just gonna cut the deck. Um, Drew seems to be very focused on money at the moment. We have here the Ten of Pentacles, the Golden Goose. He's very focused on money, finances. So I don't think he's wanting to tell you anything about feelings, but he may want to tell you something about money. God, this lighting is not at all flattering, I have to say. Sorry, guys. Um, Now that I know that this live streaming helps and works, I'm going to do my best to create a brighter setup for next time. Yeah. Okay. So it's not about feelings, Ashley. I think he's very focused on money at the moment. He recently came into a large sum of money, or he's thinking about legacy, about commitment, marriage. Um, Thank you, Majid. You're very kind. Thank you. Um, what about October Libras, Rahul Arts? What about them? Give me a question and I'll answer it. But I don't know. Were you guys talking about Libras? Tokyo Fatisha, will he contact me soon? The Hanged Man. It seems like he's about to step out of this self-imposed ghosting situation or leaving you hanging. Normally, if the hanged man would be upright, he would still be taking his sweet time. But since he's making a sacrifice at the moment and he's looking forward to connecting, coming out of hermit mode. So I would say yes, he will contact you soon. Maria, what does Sebastian think of our conversation? Queen of Cups. He thinks you're trying to use feelings to control him. Yeah, he thinks it's not like what you're doing. Maria, you could be a wonderful person, uh, and especially how you relate to him. But he perceives you as, I think he's projecting some mother issues onto you. The Queen of Cups, normally, she would be like upright. She would be a mother figure, somebody very loving, somebody very nurturing, like the ideal spouse, the ideal girlfriend. But he kind of sees you as somebody who is too emotional. Uh, you may enjoy drinking. You could be, he feels that you are all over the place. Yeah, he doesn't have the best opinion, unfortunately. But this has nothing to do with you, Maria. It's just how he perceives you, because I feel that there are some unsolved mother issues here. Okay, let's see. What can I do to bring abundance into my life? NTM station. You got the hanged man blocked again. Nine of Pentacles reversed. I feel like you're not valuing yourself more. And the message is very clear. Watch your body and your diet. Like you could be manifesting abundance with your body. Like maybe you have Saturn in the second house, Saturn in the eighth house, Saturn conjunct Venus. The more you spend time, if you have these placements, the more you spend time taking care of your body, of your diet, of your daily routines, the more your value increases, the more energized and healthier you look, the more people want to work with you, the more people want to give you money, gifts. So, to attract abundance, NTM station, watch closely what you take in your body. So, closely monitor your diet. And then, yeah, make sure that you're healthy. Yeah. Gabriela, does the person on my mind have the potential to become a romantic partner or is it just physical? Gabriela, you're really rushing into things because I already selected your card even before I read your question and we got the Six of Swords. Um, this is a peaceful connection. It's helping you walk away from the drama of the past. To become a romantic partner, or is it just physical? I see that it's more mental somehow than physical. Like this person really likes the way you talk. You know, they really like having conversations with you. It's a very peaceful, calm relationship, but it's too early to tell. It's too early to tell. Spend some more time getting to know this person. Ask this person questions, communicate, because this person is really enjoying the ride. Let me give the deck another shuffle. Ashley, anytime. If you feel like you want a personal reading anytime, I am still making them. And actually, yeah, I wanted to say, guys, I'm not going to be working during Mercury retrograde. I will close my shop, my personal readings during Mercury retrograde. And the Mercury retrograde, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is beginning sometime soon. Let me just see. Oh, I love the fact that now I have the on the laptop I can easily do this because on my phone I wasn't able to open files and folders while I was live streaming. So this is great. Yeah, it's much better to live stream on your laptop. If there's something that you take away from this live stream on your laptop, not on your phone. So the Mercury retrograde coming back, it begins. Okay, it goes direct on the 11th of August and it begins on, yeah, the 18th. So not long now, just 8 days. We are 8 days away from the Mercury retrograde. Oh no, I'm gonna be not in Bucharest. Um, okay, Setare, coming back to the questions. Will he achieve his career goals by next month? Let's see. Eight of Cups. I feel like instead of achieving his career goals, he may walk away from the whole job. He may leave something behind. So I would say no. I feel like he wants to change the jobs. Eight of Cups is the card of I don't want to, but I'm gonna walk away. Yeah. I don't feel happy here. I'm sad, I'm depressed, you know. This is hurting me. Okay, so just a reminder, I mentioned Mercury retrograde dates, 18th of July until the 11th of August, yeah? And the Mercury retrograde is going to take place over Leo and Cancer, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Mercury is going to be in the sign of Leo, and will stay in Leo. Yeah, so Leos, ooh, okay, get ready for a case of foggy head. Um, but we're right there to support you. Sana, what is the likely outcome of my current uni year? Will I pass? Oh, Sana, I hope you're doing okay. We got the Eight of Cups again. That's not your card. We got the Fool. Hmm. The Fool blocked talks about a beginning that is stunted somehow. This is not about completing something. This is about it's kind of like you want to do something else. It's like you already lost interest in whatever it is that you're doing. You just want to get it over with so you can focus on something else, Sana. Is that correct? Because I'm seeing here like a beginning that, like a big new beginning in your life that is just, it's blocked somehow. Maybe a general reading could help, or a quick card question. Ratul Arts. I'm sure I did not pronounce that correctly. Should I follow my creative passion for arts or choose a stable job as a career? Guys, I'm also noticing that, for example, NTM Station and Ratul, they have these little crowns and a hashtag. What are these? Maybe it may seem silly to ask this, but is this a sign that you guys are members of the channel? Because as I said, I'm experimenting. It's the first time I'm trying this um, live streaming program that we have here on YouTube. I sound like a grandmother using her smartphone for the first time. It's like, how can I turn off this sound? The crowns are the top commenters. Thank you, Tokyo Fatisha. You can turn it off, I think. No, it doesn't bother me. I was just curious. I'm learning. Top commenters. Okay, thank you, Ratul. Should you follow your creative passion for arts or choose a stable career choice? So, to my top commenter, I'm here to let you know that yes, you should follow your heart. Yeah. So, follow arts. Okay. Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups is about feelings, emotions, intuition, the artistic environment, benefits, all of these things. And I'm so irritated about the fact that there isn't that much light and you can't really see the cards because the cards are really cute. This is a woman drinking her, I think this is eggnog. She has prepared some eggnog. Look how cute. um, so, yeah. Okay, follow your heart, go for arts. And if I'm taking breaks in my speech, it's only because it's quite hot in this room. And I am getting a little bit tired. And as you guys know, English is not my first language. Um, oh, you guys are so sweet. I love to see how you support each other in the comments. Yeah, we need more of this energy, right? We need more of this energy in the world. I recently stumbled upon a channel of a guy who visited, I think, his name is Tony or Antonio. I forgot his family name, but he's a creator here on YouTube, and he makes videos where he visits fast food places in America at 3 in the morning, or he goes and he tries to order the worst and the best thing in a fast food store that is usually seen as bankrupt or the worst possible fast food store in America. He took a trip from Florida to Alaska on Amtrak. A really, really interesting content, but he's so positive about everything, and so grateful. And he talks to people. And I was watching his videos earlier today, and I was comparing his videos to the news at the moment. And the news are showing us that, Donald Trump is deporting Mexican, and America is a terrible place for students to go to at the moment, and everybody's being put in jails. And while obviously these things are happening. I'm not denying anything of that. These things are happening. But it's just like the news are creating such a negative image of America at the moment. And this guy, he's just traveling around America at 3 in the morning and, with a train as well. And he's like meeting common folk, common people. And, he's shaking hands with them and they give him suggestions and recommendations. And it's like he makes it all seem like everything is so safe compared to what the news are showing us, right? So take everything that you hear with a pinch of salt. I'm not saying that these two realities cannot coexist because they can, obviously. America is so big. And what is America? It's the United States of America rather than America. But yeah, keep in mind that if you want to travel, if you want to relocate, if you want to achieve a certain goal, but you're thinking, oh, the news are showing me a big bad world, It's not really like that, okay? It's not really like that. People continue to thrive, people continue to have really wonderful things happening in their lives. They are creative, fascinating, passionate, polite, kind people. And all you need to do is ask people for what you want sometimes, um, and you will get it. You will be surprised at how helpful and okay people are, right? And I'm saying this during a period in my life in which I am constantly feeling sensitive, and I feel like people are criticizing me unfairly because of Saturn and Uranus making so many, like kind of bringing my energy down and kind of making me be a bit more critical than I used to be in the past. But don't worry, guys, it's just a temporary period. I'll get back to how I was or transform into something much better. Ashley, press the hearts and emojis. I like doing that. Yes, I keep seeing the hearts. Let's see, I'm going to press it as well. I don't know if I press it, you guys see it. But since I started the live stream, I keep seeing hearts. So thank you guys. You are so awesome. This is so cool. I love you guys. See, like if we come together and we focus on something that we love, we can casually spend 1 hour and 20 minutes just feeling good, just feeling supported, just feeling like we're part of a community. Even if each one of us is just alone in the room, feeling a little bit bogged down and worried or heavy with everything that is happening in society at the moment, look at how much fun we can have in just 1 hour and 20 minutes talking about astrology, talking about tarot. Well, it's mostly me yapping and you guys contributing as much as you can. But yeah, more of this. Let's create third spaces in society. If the government takes them down, let's create them ourselves, Um, if people tell you you shouldn't do this and that, no, don't listen to that, okay? Just do what feels good for you. Technology brings me closer to people. It's not like I'm going to stop using it because, I don't know, my neighbors think that it's bad to stare into a screen all day. Oh, you guys are awesome. You're just really, really awesome. Um, oh, somebody's saying here, I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name. Your name is written in capitals in Greek, I imagine, or Macedonian. Sorry, why didn't you answer me? Did I do anything wrong? No, 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 you didn't do anything wrong. Cosma, I think it's Cosma, how your name is pronounced. You didn't do anything wrong. It's just I am having such a flow of comments, and sometimes they get lost. So, yes or no, please, one for me. Okay, I'm trying to find your question so I can answer it. So, for the person in the chat that has the Greek name in capital letters, I think it's Cosma. This is your yes or no question or answer to the question. Uh, the full block, it's a no. It's a no. Okay. And maybe that's why, because you know what they say, people like to give you good news very fast, but they tend to delay bad news. Nobody wants to give bad news. Nobody wants to fire people. Nobody, unless you're a psychopath. So, in general, in life, it happened to me as well with job interviews or important decisions. If people delay you, it's because most likely the answer is no. If people are really eager to talk to you, it's most likely that the answer is yes. Yeah, they want to lock it down. And I think this is something that we can apply to our personal lives, our romantic lives. If somebody really wants you, you will see them everywhere. Like they're gonna be in your face, in your DMs, in your phone. If they are not feeling it, it's gonna be meh, occasionally contacting you, kind of ghosting you. And it's a very good wake up call to start looking for somebody that feels like a retriever, like a labrador around you, like super happy and super playful and super excited. Mouse pajamas, who has a crush on me? Hi Collins. We're just about to wrap up this stream though, so for those joining us kind of late, don't worry, there will be another live stream around the new moon, so 2 weeks from now. I decided that since you guys love these live stream, in spite of the experiments and the poor quality, of the visuals, so I'm going to work on that. But you guys seem to really love them, and we love to hang out. So I'm going to do a live stream around the new moon and full moon as well, to try to answer as many questions as I can. And if I don't answer your questions, please don't take it personally. There's absolutely no bad intention. I'm not gaslighting you or like ignoring you on purpose. It's just I'm really struggling to pay attention to all of the comments while also trying to keep it moving, keep it flowing. Yeah. Um, so the question that I wanted to answer before we got somebody new in the chat. Yeah, you see, so I have to go back and find the questions. Who has a crush on me? Okay, mouse pajamas. I found your question. Thank God. Two of Pentacles. Somebody that you know from work or a work-related project, a collaboration. Somebody who you met while you were doing two things at the same time. Most likely an earth sign, a Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn. Most likely a Virgo. But yeah, look for people that you met through work. Even if you don't work in a traditional institution, in a corporation, maybe you, I don't know, collaborated with somebody for a work project. That's where you should find your crush. Yeah. Okay, guys, it's 1 hour 30 minutes into this live stream. I am incredibly hot. I want to go and make myself some lemonade and maybe take a walk in the park. I really hope that you get to do something fun as well after the end of this live stream. I hope that you can take some time to rest, to relax. Full moons are times to celebrate. Yeah. There are times in which we look at the harvest of what happened in our lives in the previous 6 months. So take some time, maybe with pen and paper, or on your laptop, on your phone, whichever way is more convenient. Try to think about certain things that you're grateful for. It's a great energy to use in order to launch gratitude and manifest through the power of positive thinking. Try to think about an area in your life in which you want to improve, and you can find some spells to do. Full moons are excellent for a spell. You can also get in touch with the spirits of the departed, or write a letter to them and then burn it in order to get rid of a resentment. Full moons are moments when you don't sleep so good because the energy is quite intense. So begin tomorrow in an easy way. Take it step by step. It's going to be Friday anyway, so it's almost the end of the week for some of us. And yeah, just enjoy it. You know, it's a time to enjoy. It's a time to just get more in touch with cycles. Yeah. And I know that it can feel a little bit heavy because it's Capricorn, but just because things are heavy, it doesn't mean that you're not alive, and it doesn't mean that you can't enjoy them. You still can find meaningful, beautiful things even when things are hard. And I can tell you this because I've been under this energy of struggling in the past 2 months, but I still managed to show up for myself somehow. I don't know how, magic. With the help of the community. Yeah, we need each other, guys. Thank you so much for your energy. Thank you for being here. Have a happy rest of the day or evening, wherever you find yourself in the world. And I'll see you next time, okay? I'm super happy that we tested this, and I'm going to be improving it as we go along. I love you guys. Take care. God bless. And let's see, how do I end it? Oh, over here. Okay, yes.